he is.
Yeah!
You're back?
Back, baby. We're back.
Hey, congratulations to FSU. You have now eclipsed half of your wins from last year.
Well, the good news is me and Shelton had a bet that we won six. We had to win over 6 games, or I had to be a Texas fan. So I don't know if Texas might win 9. I might win 6 games. I don't know. We'll see. I'm back, baby. We're back. I'm going to be an FSU fan for life. I don't even have to make that bet anymore.
That's true. Great start to the week for you guys, or for the season, I should say, for you guys. And yeah, I think that you'll be fine. That you don't have to switch any teams as of now. Look, still a long way to go, but hell of a start, to say the least. Let's get our morning coffee in. We're actually shooting this in the morning for the first time, which is kind of exciting. On
as you can see, we're all getting our caffeine in. I mean,
yeah, that's what it is. That's life after 30 anymore. That's how you survive, boys. That's how you survive. Well, look, let's talk about it, man. Let's get into the first order of business, the biggest one of all. The Noles absolutely get it done. I'm gonna let you go first, Ty. To be honest with you, because
man.
I mean, there's so many great things. Get after it.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many good things. So when we talked earlier in this year, I said that this Gus Malzahn and Thomas Castellanos, he are made for each other. Those 100% two are a match made in heaven. And they ran that offense to an absolute T. Some people are made to be head coaches, and some people are made to be coordinators. And Malzahn is made to be a coordinator because he called a perfect football game against Alabama. We only threw the ball 14 times. We ran the ball down their throat. We won up front on both sides of the football. And that's the difference that I didn't expect. I thought the offense was made for him. I thought we could compete, but I didn't expect to win like we did. If you take that first drive away from Alabama, they did absolutely nothing the whole football game. They looked lost, in all truthfulness. They were getting beat. They couldn't do anything. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I thought we were going to go in there and roll Alabama, or Alabama was going to come get rolled. But what I said was all the things that happened. The offense, it was run so perfectly. They didn't make any mistakes. The only mistake they made was on a punt. It was a special teams, and Lucas didn't get away from the football and hit him, and I thought maybe that might change, but that didn't change. So we sit back. They didn't make any mistakes. Castellanos absolutely threw dots when he needed to. He only completed 9 balls, but he took off when he was supposed to. He ran the offense perfectly. He hit Jalen Lucas on a big play, hit Squirrel White on a big play. Another transfer out of Tennessee who I really love for make big plays this year. And the team just looked juiced. They looked like they were ready to be old Florida State again. That offensive line was pieced together through the portal, and it looks like they did it again, boys. They nailed the portal again. We might go 13-0 this year.
Oh, he's fired up. Look, man, I gotta eat my words a little bit. I'm kind of ticked because before last week, our last show where I throttled FSU, I was leaning towards that FSU camp on a possible upset because of the Gus Malzahn, because of Thomas Castellanos. I felt that he would fit into that system well, and it's annoying to guard. It's hard to guard, and when it gets rolling like it did, it's tough. But that wasn't the part. Like, I expected that, right? Like that, I could see what they did happening. What I didn't see happening was the domination on the other side of the ball. You're 100% right that it's like they took a year off, but it looked exactly like it did with that Jordan Travis running the show. Where that FSU team was great with Jordan Travis, right? Had a great run team, but defensively they're an absolute fit to handle. They play with passion. They were absolutely leveling everybody. Now, here's where a lot of Florida fans are going to go. Well, Bama sucked. Bama did suck. Both things can be true. Where FSU found a little bit of a rhythm, found their swagger back a little bit, and Bama just ain't Bama no more. All right, both can be true, and that's in my case. That's I think what happened here. Ty Simpson wasn't the problem. We'll kind of transfer into Bama here in just a little bit, but I think the speed that you guys have, you guys are gonna give a lot of teams some fits this year. I know some people say, "Hey, well, your quarterback can't throw." Go watch the games this past weekend. There wasn't too many quarterbacks that were throwing, boys and girls, so it might be a year where we're just veering it up and we're handing it off. And if there's a team that's probably going to be the best at it, I think you might have saw it on Saturday in FSU. Thomas Castellanos
pulled it. Pocket for me. The clean pocket that he had. That's why he could throw the ball the way he did. And when you give him that pocket, he's going to make plays.
Correct. Look, I'm excited for this Florida matchup. I think Florida's done a great job of addressing this issue. That they got great linebacker speed. This game's far, far and away. We'll get a tease of it next week with USF, so we'll see how we handle this mobile quarterback. Auburn's going to throw that at you. It looks like Georgia's going to be throwing that at you with Gunnar Stockton. He was running a little bit of that old Tebow-esque style of offense, not as smooth and as quick as what FSU brought you, more of kind of punch you in the face. But man, you've been talking about Jalen Lucas. Jalen Lucas was an absolute fit. School fit was fantastic. And then you had Deuce Robinson picking up some big ones. I got to eat my words. I was throttling them. I was questioning culture. I was questioning if they could do so many different things. And they flipped the switch. And this is what the portal does. I said it after the I don't remember what game it was, but I go, look, man, this is why there was so much parity this past weekend, because the portal can ruin a team like it did for FSU last year, but then in the same breath, give it resurgence in just a matter of time. Cody, what were your thoughts, big fella?
Well, welcome to the year of the super veer. Don't worry, you don't need to throw the ball vertically. You just run the super veer, and you're good to go. You can pretty much take on anybody in the top 15, top 20. Hey, heck of a game for FSU. I will say that they absolutely just punched Alabama in the mouth. By the third quarter, Bama didn't want anything left. There are videos circulating about the lack of effort and how this DeBoer team is soft and has no grit. I kind of gotta agree. I think that if I'm a Bama fan, I think I'm looking elsewhere for a coach, and I said that Auburn might be the first Power 5 head coach gone. There's a possibility they just go and fire DeBoer this year.
Yeah, we had a lot of hot takes that went cold very quickly after this past weekend, and we're going to get into that Auburn game. But man, Kalen DeBoer and Alabama, how the mighty have fallen very quickly. We had a Miami guy call in yesterday after the Miami Notre Dame game, and he got it on the head, man. Saban saw the writing on the wall and got up out of town pretty quickly with this new NIL era, and it definitely has created a lot of parity in college football, which is the initial thought, which is what we are all excited for. And man, the state of Florida looks like it's going to find some rhythm this year and be a legitimate threat from everybody. Everybody looked fantastic. I know the only team that didn't play anybody was Florida, but if you watch the game and understand what they were able to do, they did everything right. What they were to a very elite level, which I was very proud of. Again, we still got a lot to show. I don't feel like we can sit here and boast around like you guys are able to, but I'm ecstatic for what we were able to go do for what the challenge that we were given. I had different challenges for us. It wasn't a scoreboard challenge. It was everything else, and we nailed it on the head. But Miami, which we'll get into a little bit later on, was great as well. But yeah, I mean, Ty Simpson wasn't an issue to me, though. I felt like he came in, slanged the ball very well. And I think it was play calling, not giving him the opportunity. There's a bigger issue with Alabama. Like you can go look at Texas and maybe point it to one guy in particular, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But this was not a Ty Simpson issue. This was an everything issue.
Yeah, they can't run the ball.
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of both. That's my opinion. You're right. They couldn't run the football, and when you can't run the football, it does make it tough on your quarterback. But there was times where Ty Simpson could have made a play with his legs and then threw it, and then there was a time he could have threw it and he tried to make a play with his legs. He just didn't. To me, he didn't flow well. The Florida State defense flew around, though. I will give them credit. I wanted them to jump up. So at the beginning of the game, we were playing off of them, and I didn't like it. I said, get in their face. Like, you're an underdog. Go punch them in the mouth. Get in their face. So they were giving a little easy throws. And then later on in the game, you saw them just push up just a little bit, and they saw that they didn't have to sit back in the zone. In the comments, somebody said Earl Little Jr.'s dog, and that guy is an absolute dog, just like his dad. Earl Little was flying around, hitting people in the mouth. He didn't care if you were 250 or you were 195. He was going to hit you the exact same. And Earl Little Jr. was making plays. That whole team. I mean, Alabama to me, but get back to them. Earl Little, man. Alabama. I'm still on Earl Little. He played so well. But Alabama, man, they have question marks. There was times where Ty Simpson had protection and he still got hit because he held on the ball too long. It's just there's a combination that just isn't working the way they haven't found anything. I don't know, man. They're in trouble. I don't see them making the playoff. And at Florida State side, I mean, you look at our schedule, like Florida and Miami, Clemson, like those are the games you got to circle. I just don't see if the way we went up front, we have issues with anyone else. I'm sure there'll be a game along the way where we do, that's who knows, like Pitt, like you said, they give us issue every once in a while. But overall, I think we're circling those 3 games. And if we can win one, I think we're going to make the playoff.
Yeah, I like FSU for the AC Championship. I think that Miami game will be an interesting one. I think trench-wise, they looked pretty good last night, but they showed their weaknesses were exposed, I think, a little bit towards the end there. I don't think they'd be able to handle Thomas Castellano, to be quite honest with you. I think he's going to run all over that defense.
He talked it and walked it, and for that, I respect him because I said, oh, boy, don't do that. Don't do that.
We talked about it on this show a handful of times. I as much as I gave him shit for it, and in the same breath, we came back like a week later. I go, look, you really got nothing to lose, to be quite honest with you. And the part that he was right on is like, this isn't the same as Saban's Bama anymore. And we definitely got caught up in it. As much as we say we didn't want to get caught up in it, we did. And here's the other part of it too, where I started to realize this past week in these talking heads, right? The big dogs, the Cranes, the Pates, and I love Jay Crane. There's nothing against these guys. But the Pates and everybody else, They just be feeding us nonsense at this point. And I kind of bought into it a little bit too, but you picked Alabama to win the national championship. I knew damn well the bitches weren't going to win the national championship. Like, what are we doing? Like, that is just asinine to me.
What are they watching?
That was a blind pick of like, yeah, this was what we used to just feel comfortable with. Like, that just shows like where the league has been, that nobody feels comfortable going out there and picking Penn State. Like, how do you not feel comfortable picking Penn State at the beginning of the year? Look, I think
do they research anybody anymore? Do they research anybody anymore? Do they look at this stuff?
But listen, when DeBoer got there, I remember when DeBoer got there. If DeBoer goes anywhere else after Washington, the blowjob that this man received would not be the same. Okay, I'm looking around. I go, dude, maybe I don't have a clue. Like, these guys are pulling up stats like, yeah, when he was at Sacramento State Community College, he went 45-0. Okay, he didn't lose a single game. Like, they play this thing off like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, they were just like making him in a lab to be the greatest thing ever. And I was like, guys, I don't know what we're looking at here, but I'm not like just completely sold on this cat just yet. But all right, like, you guys are saying it. You guys been watching ball for 20 plus years. Like, it must be true. What I realized this past weekend is like everybody's in bed with everybody and nobody wants to be the bad guy. And this is where I give Uncle Lou mad respect, because he's not afraid to just absolutely just body you, regardless of who you are. He's constantly calling Josh Pate a doofus. Look, I got to be a Josh. I don't care about anybody, but I need people to hold themselves accountable and get better takes. And we got to get away from being friends with everybody. If we see someone sitting down with a coach, I feel like your opinion's going to be a little bit persuaded, because I get it. You sit down, you talk to the guy, you have a natural soft spot to want to cheer for him. That's where we're at in this world. It's almost better to stay away from it. We got too much crossplay going on. We can't get real opinions anymore. Cody?
Well, I'll say this. I see 7 losses on their schedule. They got Georgia and then Vandy back-to-back coming up after 2-week cupcakes.
Look, we laughed.
Watch out.
You don't say Vandy lightly anymore. He's not wrong.
I know.
They're running the Super Veer. They can't stop it. They ain't stopped it in 2 years. Caleb DeBoer can't figure it out. What are we doing? They're going to lose. Every running quarterback, they're going to lose. And then John Mateer from Oklahoma is going to dot them up for 450 yards because their secondary is terrible.
Oklahoma-Michigan play this weekend, which is going to be fun. We'll have that preview show on Thursday. But
what they saying, remember the Titans split veer. It's like Novocaine. Give it time. It always works, baby.
Yeah. It's on 5 plays.
I love it. 120 strong, boys, on this beautiful Monday morning. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. That's a great recap there at FSU and Alabama. Look, here's the one thing I want to know before we continue to move on. Week 1's going to have a lot of overreactions. The same way we had incredible hot takes preseason and everybody was talking greasy, talking dirty. Everybody was going 12-0. The same thing happens the first couple of weeks of college football.